Hi,
How are you doing, Kate?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Very early at home, not right?
Yeah, it's 7 a.m.
7 a.m. You still can chat, or you gonna wake up all your all your.
No, it's good. I have my coffee.
Okay, good. Me too. Thanks for being here. We're gonna start this coffee break, which is a very early coffee break for you. And Jessie is saying hi. She's connecting too. So I'm gonna start introducing what we're doing here, and then introducing you, and then we'll start this short conversation. So this we are a travel agency specialized in sports adventures around the world, always connected with NGO. So we are now, our activity is paused during these strange times, and we are organizing everyday coffee break at 4 p.m. Spanish time. We are based in Barcelona, and we invite every day an athlete or someone that inspire us and that will help us have some tips about how to train at home and also how to help from home. So we've heard lots of very good thing about you, and we wanted to chat directly with you. So I'm going to do a brief introduction because you're an American athlete. You're based in Portland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been competing for 9 years, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
You're specialized in 801 kilometer and a half distance.
Right.
And you participated in the last Olympics in Rio.
Yes.
So can you tell us a bit how is it going in the US right now? What's the general mindset with all the situation?
Yeah. It's been a few weeks. It's been definitely we had a rocky start to trying to deal with the virus. I think different states have put in different like regulations at different times. So in Oregon, on the West Coast where I live, actually the leaders of our states, California and Washington, all put in regulations pretty quickly. So we actually haven't had, where we are, it has not been, there hasn't been too bad of like an epidemic. And so I think because of that, um, it doesn't feel, I mean, I have friends who I'm scared for, and there's other places like New York where it's bad, but where it is here, it's not like, we don't feel like we're in the center of it. We just want to support other people in other places.
Okay, so you are, I mean, you are conscious of the situation, but it's not affecting so strongly directly in your hometown.
Right, exactly. But we are, I mean, but probably why it's not is because there's very strict, we have like a stay at home or shelter in place order. So
Yeah.
we, everything's closed. The, like the gyms are closed, the restaurants are closed, schools are closed. So we're just at home all the
You're
time.
just at home, like everyone. I've seen that you've been doing a lot of stuff like cooking
Yeah,
and
exactly.
calling.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to know what's the plan for you as a professional athlete for this year. So it's all in standby, or do you have some information, or how things are going to go? Or
Yeah, so I was training for the Tokyo Olympics, and those have been postponed until next year. So that was the big one that all the people, all the Olympians training, it's been postponed. Um, the the other parts of the season, usually we have a like a professional season in Europe. So I'll go to races in like France and England, some in Spain, Belgium, and as of right now, that's all probably canceled. So right now, yeah, we're kind of just waiting to hear. We hope that there'll be some races in the U.S. In like August and September, but
okay.
the majority of international competition right now is just kind of all shut down.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the information, the first possibility of a new race for you is mid-August and September, but not confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay, so how is going? I guess that's the typical question you've been asked a lot this week. But how is training at home for you? You
Yeah, I mean, it's probably for all of us. On the one hand, because we can go outside and run. So running is great, getting outside and walking. It's finally nice here. So the past 2 weeks, it's been gorgeous outside and sunny. So that's been really nice to be able to get outside and go for a run. Um, but it is it's like alone, or with my boyfriend, and then with gyms closed and everything, it's a lot of doing like a lot of stuff in my house and doing core work. So actually, usually I'm really good and I warm up before my runs and I do my rolling, and I wasn't doing that. And I kind of like, I don't know, hurt myself a little bit, I think, because I was just I wasn't being as good as I normally am. When I have like access to a gym and stuff, about doing all of my rehab. So that's the one annoying thing. And I think that's the one thing that is risky, is people stop doing that stuff and then get little injuries. I like hurt my calf a little bit.
I see. Yeah, so there's something about even if we try to move, and some of you can have access to a outdoor run sometime, we still don't move like we normally do, and we are more, it kind of hurts the back and lots of new places that we don't feel normally. But for you as a professional, normally how many hours do you train per day?
Normally, probably training around like 4. And then you have other stuff where you might be going to see a physio or something like that. But in terms of, exercise, 4 to 5.
And now
now it's less. It's less. Yeah. One thing I have been doing like at home Pilates or kind of core work. So it's like I'll go on to the Instagram lives if people are doing like a 10-minute core session or a Pilates session. And that's been really good. And I think that's actually really good for backs and just opening up. When I'm just sitting, if you're just sitting over the computer all day, everything starts to hurt.
Yeah, you're right. Lots of yoga, meditation, and also this kind of core work. That's a good tip. Okay. So can you tell us also how important is for you now? I guess you've got a community that is supporting you. Do you connect with your team and your community in this moment?
Oh yeah, I feel like it's more. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've been doing like Zoom calls or video calls way more than I ever did before with my team. So I'm on a team with 10 other Nike athletes. We all train together, but right now we all live like a few blocks from each other, but we can't really see each other. So we've done a few like happy hours where we'll all have a drink or something, kind of like this, but just with all of us. And same with friends that I like haven't talked to in a long time. I'm able to we're doing video chats, and so that's been fun and necessary.
Necessary, and quite the positive aspect of the situation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garbage truck going outside.
Oh, no worries. It's okay. And how is do you think that your competition mindset helps you also to deal with the situation?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think everyone has to go through being upset about it, right? Like I was when the Olympics were canceled, I was really upset. I didn't think it was going to happen. I just couldn't believe it was going to happen, right? So for like a day, I was pretty emotional. I was crying a lot. But I think in a way, it's not like athletes don't have those emotions, but it's like you go through that and then you kind of realize like, okay, I can't control that anymore. Like I can't control the situation. What can I do in this moment? And I feel like in a good way, the past 2 weeks, I've been really good about just trying to be very in the moment, being kind of mindful, actually trying to enjoy. I mean, obviously there's so much hardship going on, but in the day to day, like finding something that I'm enjoying, even if it's going for a walk or it's the flowers are blooming, something like that, and realizing that like I don't know, being grateful for something, for family, and being able to focus on those small things. I'm not, I don't feel that like anger or being upset about things that are not in my control. So now it's like, and the other thing that I've done is I've tried to make goals for what can I, as an athlete, get out of this time. So it might not be, I might not come out of this time in peak shape, but I can be stronger, right? I can have I can be doing core work, or I can be doing like every day, or I can be doing a little bit of yoga every day. And so if I have those kind of athletic goals, which usually we don't really get because we're trying to like really just get the fast stuff, like maybe that can be positive.
Yes, that's very interesting. That's a very good input for us all also to focus on the positive things that we can still do.
Yeah.
And I know also because we've been connected through a friend that told me that you support also an NGO in the US called Feeding America.
Mm-hmm.
It's a personal thing, I guess. Do you know how authorities or how this kind of association are dealing with the situation for people who don't have access to food and to the food that they normally have access at school and everything?
Yeah, I mean, it's different in different places, but that's why there's been food banks have really stepped up, because between schools and people being unemployed right now, it just, you want to make sure that people aren't going hungry. So Feeding America is the overarching NGO, and then they have specific food banks in each town. And so they have been ramping up production or ramping up operations. Also I'm pretty sure in Oregon, different schools are still offering school lunches. So for people who like qualify for school lunches, for free school lunches, they can still get that, because that was one of the main things when schools shut down that everyone was worried about. But a lot of between the government and different nonprofits, and even some businesses are offering free lunches if you can prove that like restaurants.
Okay.
So it's been really nice to see how everyone is kind of stepping up to make sure that need is filled.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You know, sometimes we think that this only happen in some southern countries that have like developing index less high than the US, but it happens everywhere, and it's important also to be conscious of the local situation and to be contributing to it. This is also very beautiful to see that there's a big solidarity impulse in this moment. So thank you also for pointing it. I also wanted to change subject. Just you work in your Instagram account. You say that your main bio comment is that you're just trying not to sleep on your dreams. So can you tell us what are your dreams?
I mean, my dreams are as an athlete, it's to go back to the Olympics, and to do better than I did last time. I mean, looking at these ones, I was looking at what it would mean to get a medal at the Olympics. But I mean, right now that's a little bit pushed out, but it's not over. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, but I mean, I think right now as an athlete, also just in general, I think it's just I love the process of getting better, of improving myself, of trying to be the best that I can be. I train with a lot of people who are a little bit younger than I am, and I feel so like grateful that I'm able to still run with them, and this is like probably going to be my last cycle, my last Olympic cycle, and so it's a little bit of a different place than someone who might be just coming for their first time and they're planning to go to many more. So for me, it's just like, what can I do with my time here? What can I do with the time I have? How good can I be? What moments can I make?
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful to focus on what you can do and to enjoy the moment. I believe that it's the way we all need to do things right now, not to try to think too far because we never know what's gonna happen now. So that's good. Thank you very much. Last question. What is the confinement teaching you that you did not expect?
Yeah. Ooh. It's teaching me that I have a lot of junk around my house to clean up. I've been cleaning up my house. That's one thing.
That's a big part.
That I mean, I think it's teaching me just like the value. It's teaching me that I can adapt more. I think than I thought I could. I think as an athlete, we get really used to just being in our routine. It was really hard for me at first because I was like, no, I have my plan. I have my 4-month plan. It's very detailed. And after a little bit of kind of going through like grieving that change, I've been able to adapt to it and change my routine. And I don't feel like anger or regret about that. So I think that was a good lesson for me as an athlete, that I am adaptable. I'm not like so rigid. And maybe it took me. I was a little bit hesitant, and I was like definitely not happy about it at first. But like I've come around. So.
Oh, that's great. Congrats for this. Yeah, we all had this denial phase and then the acceptation. So I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Now we can deal with it again better, I guess.
Right.
I will ask to everybody if they have any other question because it's the moment. I think that you need to start also your day and your routine. So and thank you very, very much for being here with us. It's been really also interesting for us as a sports event social company to have your perspective on the situation, to give some tips to people who are preparing race right now, even if they are not professional as you are, and also to have your perspective from the US. It's been really lovely chatting with you, Kate. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It was nice to talk to you.
Thank you. See you soon then. Bye-bye. And good luck with the Olympics.
Thank you.